People that lie tend to say some certain phrases over and over again. People that don't believe in exactly what they're saying. And after a Mike Tomlin Tuesday press conference, I seem to think we found one of the liars in the bunch. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive in here on a Wednesday. Forgive me for not doing a live show last night. I didn't get home till late. So, hey, here we are doing it up today here on the daily upload. And like I said in the intro there's always somebody in the group that you can tell is a full blown liar. And that happens to be Mike Tomlin. Have you ever noticed, guys, when Mike Tomlin's up there and he says, to be quite honest with you, to be quite honest with you, and he says that over and over and over again in basic studies of psychology, people that say that, in, well, not in particular the exact phrase how he is saying it, but people that always got to reiterate that they're being honest with you aren't truly being honest with you. So we really can see right through Mike Tomlin and what he is bringing to the table here in terms of what he believes and what he believes to be true. And that happened a lot with the George Pickens conversation. There were a couple reporters in the bunch that actually asked a tough question yesterday, and I have to admire them for that because it's not a typical thing that is done. And the tough questions that were asked by one, Chris Carter asked one, about George Pickens and his usage and his effort and things of that nature. I don't have the exact quote of how he asked the question, but he asked that question along those lines. And I thought that was really good. And Tomlin says during, I believe, that sequence, I believed he used it yet again, to be quite honest with you. Well, he's not being quite honest with you. There's some sort of tension in that building with George Pickens and Mike Tomlin in the franchise. I'm not sure what that is, and I'm not sure if that can actually be overcome by both parties. I'm not sure how this will all play out. However, possibly it could fix itself. And what fixes these things, guys? Winning and getting the ball and doing the things that are exciting and make any locker room happy. And I always emphasize that when you're coaching any type of sport or playing any type of sport. I always say, what fixes everything? Winning. And I think that is the most obvious thing to everybody. Winning makes it fun. Winning fixes all the woes, man. So perhaps if the Steelers get back on track here with a win in week 6 against the Las Vegas Raiders, they could possibly get back on track and you're not hearing as much about the GP stuff as the Steelers maybe get back on a roll. And that's just the reality in which we live, man. That tends to happen. You won't hear as much about George Pickens not running a route at 1,000% effort. You won't hear him about or hear things about him not blocking downfield. As long as the Steelers are winning again, it fixes everything. But guys, Mike Tomlin doesn't seem to be concerned with George Pickens, but I can tell that is an absolute bold-faced lie because, to be quite honest with you, to quote Mike Tomlin, he is worried about George Pickens. And when he says that, to be quite honest with you, he is basically saying to you, the fan base, that he is ultra concerned with it and that it is a major issue. George Pickens taking plays off, more plays off than plays on. He's not running routes as crisp and as fast and as full speed as you would like. And it does become irritating, especially for the fan base. When you're out here pouring your heart and soul into a team to root for it, you don't want to see guys out there playing half-ass, especially guys that are making millions of dollars a year, guys that are becoming wealthy from playing this game that you support as the fan base. And we have every right in the world to get out there and to question his want to. His fire in his belly, and does he even want to be on this team? And to be honest with you, I really can't blame blame George Pickens, rather. He's not getting the football the way he should. He's not incorporated into the scheme the way he should be. And I would become frustrated too. But George Pickens, on the other side of that coin, is not handling it the way that he should. He should be out there busting his hump. He should be out there setting the example, setting the so-called standard. And that is what George Pickens needs to learn, guys, that he has to be the number one guy. He has to be the guy out there setting the standard each and every week. And that is out there busting your ass, giving 110% every single play, and that's how you become the leader. That's how you become the franchise wide receiver piece. That's how you get to that level. And if George Pickens can't figure that out, it may be a tough time for him remaining in the city of Pittsburgh, and that could be a problem moving forward if he goes to any other team. And if you're the Steelers, and if you're considering maybe trading George Pickens here, you're just creating the same problem that you have now. You have a guy that is supposedly your top target in George Pickens, and if you trade him off for another guy that's a top target, all you're doing is swapping top targets. You're not fixing the problem, the depth inside of that wide receiver room. And I know Calvin Austin has had some real nice moments this season here in 2024. But however, guys, he's not a true number two target. He is a 3-4 on the depth chart. And that's okay because that's his role and that's where he fits. And that's when, there's the occasional game where he just breaks out and takes over a game with some big plays and flips the script, man. That's okay. That's a piece that you want in place. But the Steelers right now don't have that true number two target. And there's other guys that have disappointed me so far this season. Mainly one being Van Jefferson, whom I had really high hopes for, but right now through 5 games only has 62 receiving yards. Now we can blame a little bit of that on scheme. We can blame a little bit of that on Van Jefferson himself, but Van Jefferson's got to step up and he's got to get open a little bit more and he's got to be a little bit more precise and a little bit more physical in combat catches and things of that nature to help his own cause. But that has been a disappointment. Another being Roman Wilson not being involved has been a disappointment because he's been injured. And I know a lot of you are out there screaming for Roman Wilson to be involved right now. Get a helmet on Sunday. But this is in one of the few instances that I agree with Mike Tomlin. If Roman isn't ready, and we've seen video that shows that I don't think he is, uh, I believe it's the right decision to not put him out there because what's the most important thing? Being able to be effective as a wide receiver, getting in and out of your breaks, getting the ability to break down and come back to the quarterback and those things like that. And with that ankle, he's just not able to do that right now. And hopefully, maybe this week, he will be able to and get a little bit better at those things. And maybe it will force the hand of the Steelers to be able to get him in there. But here we sit, guys. The wide receivers are the wide receivers. George Pickens, Mike Tomlin's not concerned, to be quite honest with you, with his effort, but he is, and we know that. So let's move off of that topic and that wide receiver room, in which we know is beat up and banged up, and um, or well, not beat up and banged up, but just not right now. Doesn't have the depth that we would like. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully the Steelers are able to fix that, and we'll see how this all goes here as they approach the Las Vegas game and how they end up divvying up the reps. And yeah, George is just on a snap count, to be quite honest with you, according to Mike Tomlin. So yeah, this is just all a joke, guys. It's so comical when you hear Mike Tomlin's press conference and how big of a liar he is right now to the fan base. And I understand you don't want to allow everything to just be spewed out there and your business to be out in the streets. I get that too. But man, dude, he's got to start taking some accountability and start recognizing publicly exactly what's wrong with this football team and what possibly could be fixed and how he's going to approach that. I think the fan base deserves to hear those things. So all right, guys, let's continue to move on with the rest of this team. Let's talk about the injuries. Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, and Larry Ogunjobi were all listed on the injury report. Keanu Benton with an ankle. Cam Hayward was just rest, so that's okay. And Larry Ogunjobi was listed with a groin. That's your whole defensive front there that starts, that plays significant snaps. That has to be a little bit worrying. Also, you have Alex Highsmith out, Nick Herbig out. That is a heavy, heavy blow. T.J. Watt being the only remaining regular left at the outside linebacking court. DeMarvin Lee out with a neck injury. That's another one. There's 3 of your top 4 pass rushers are out, and that is going to be a significant mountain to overcome for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and hopefully they can. But moving forward into the other side of the football, Russell Wilson will be a full participant supposedly this week. We'll continue to monitor him, and that forces the hand of Mike Tomlin to start to figure out this quarterback situation in terms of who he's going to go with and how this is all going to work out. If Russell Wilson is healthy, what do you guys think? Do you want to see Russell Wilson get a chance, or do you want to see Justin Fields remain the starter for the rest of the season and just continue to build off of that? So let's take a vote here, guys. So if you want Russell Wilson to get a chance, I want you to like the video. And actually, let's change that up. If you want Russell Wilson to get a chance, I want you to comment Russ in the comments section. If you want Justin to continue to be the starter, I want you to comment Justin in the comments section. So we'll take a little bit of a poll here, and we'll see how that all works out and what the majority of you would like to see. Yeah, so also you had a couple other players that were injured that I forgot to mention. Cordell Patterson, McCole Pruitt, Jalen Warren, all out. DeMonte Casey, he's doubtful with a knee, I believe. So those things are becoming worrisome, guys, considering the amount of injuries that the Steelers have had to overcome so far in this short season. Um, Again, Russell, he may be able to be the backup this week. I do think that they stay with Justin Fields at least for this week. And then I think after that, it may be an actual controversy depending on Justin's performance against the Las Vegas Raiders. So we'll continue to monitor that situation. And another thing, if you're Mike Tomlin, you can't have a quarterback looking over their shoulder all the time. You've done that with Mason. You've done that with Duck. You've done that with Kenny, you did that with Mitch, and we've seen the outcome of that. And you can't have quarterbacks looking over their shoulder. They have to have some sort of sense of security to be able to play free and fast because they're ultra worried about making a mistake to get benched. And you can't have that. And I think that Mike Tomlin now, it was cool to deflect everything at the beginning with Justin in terms of Russell's injury and not to create a controversy. But now we're at the point of the season to where you have to pick somebody and you have to give them the confidence and the endorsement of the franchise in order to make this thing to where you're not having a quarterback looking over their shoulder and creating chaos and creating tension there. And I think it's just the wrong move now. I think this is a game of chess, and you have to learn that you have to be a couple moves ahead always. And we'll see if Mike Tomlin is smart enough to realize that. Also, let's continue to talk about the Steelers as a whole as they head into Las Vegas. The run game is in trouble. I think once Jalen Warren is healthy, I think you consider him the feature back, in my opinion, because Najee just doesn't fit into this system. And if you are going to use Najee Harris here in these weeks where Jalen is still injured, I think you need to start running him downhill a little bit more and move him into a little bit more of a more comfortable scheme for him in order for him to be successful. So hopefully that will happen. And the offensive line injuries aren't helping. But again, you could spread the ball out. You can do some different things in order to help solidify that offensive line and help protect them scheme wise. And I think Justin Fields showed that in the 2 minute up tempo pace that he can protect the offensive line a little bit, getting the ball out quick, hitting those quick seams, those quick drags, those things that the Steelers need to start utilizing a little bit more. Pat Freiermuth needs to be utilized a little bit more. George Pickens a little bit more. Hit Calvin Austin on a deep ball occasionally, trying to stretch the field. You have to start to be a little bit different, and we'll see if Mike Tomlin is smart enough to do that this week against the Raiders. But we're going to wrap it up here, guys. And again, thank you for joining us here on a Wednesday for our daily upload. It's been awesome so far. We will be back tonight for sure, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Steel City Live. I'll either be joined by Obi-Wan Kenobi, Sean, somebody will be on. So we'll see if Nick and Sean, either one. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we're just going to continue to rock with this and continue to break this game down now that we are moving into week 6 here against the Raiders. Tonight, I will have some things prepared for you in terms of things the Steelers need to do against the Raiders and start to break down the Raiders as a team and really start to dissect this week here on Wednesday. So moving forward for the rest of the week, tonight we can talk about some of these topics we covered today, but I really want to break down the Raiders and what the Steelers are going to have to do in order to be successful against that team. So we'll continue to monitor all that. And again, we'll be back tonight. Again, I appreciate you all. So make sure you like, subscribe, share. That is really helpful right now. We need to get the shows back out into the YouTube algorithm after the change here. We've had a slight decline in viewership, but we are gaining ground back. So that is because of you. So make sure you're sharing, liking, subscribing. And again, if you have any issues, make sure you email me at mikedropsports@yahoo.com, and we will make sure we take care of those. And just know you are all truly are valued here, and we truly appreciate all that you do to help build this rocket ship that we call Mike Drop Sports. So until then, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.